And that's why I don't drink paint anymore.
Fair enough, mate.
Hello and welcome to the Phil Shy podcast. I'm Peter Bell and with me the nice man in comedy, Paddy Linton.
Hello.
So we've got a couple of big games to start on this weekend, but unlike Match of the Day 2, we are going to start with probably the biggest one in terms of reputation.
Yeah.
The North London Derby. Still wearing the shirt, despite the fact we didn't win. It's a good game. It was a very good game.
It was a class game of football.
I imagine for the neutral it was very enjoyable, but for me it was very annoying.
No, I enjoyed it.
Like you called it. You said it'd be a score draw.
I did. Yeah, I fucking got one right for a change.
Aye, and I'd like to take some credit for it because I sarcastically said it'd be a 0-0 draw and Saka would be shite.
Aye.
And he was responsible for both the Arsenal goals. So the curse is still working, guys. The curse is still working. I'd love to sit here and say that Arsenal were obviously the better team and definitely should have won, but realistically a draw was probably a fair result from that. Yeah.
I think, see, as the game got into the last 20 minutes, both teams sort of just sat back a wee bit.
Aye.
Like when Maddison and Son came off for Spurs, they sort of lost their teeth.
Aye.
But like Arsenal didn't really press forward that much because neither side wanted to lose it at that point.
I think that was a big part of it. They're both unbeaten this season. They're against their biggest rivals. Again, like we said last time, one of the few rivalries still in the league where they do have this genuine dislike of each other. It's not like a plastic rivalry.
Like an Arsenal-Chelsea game when they fucking sell players to each other all the time.
No.
Like they call it a derby because they're both from London, but like how many players have played for both sides?
Arsenal don't like Chelsea because of the way they've got their success.
Yeah.
But I don't really think Chelsea care too much about it. They just like to win so they can rub Arsenal fans' faces in it. That's about it. This one, they genuine dislike for each other. It was frustrating to lose or draw the game. Sorry, when you'd been up twice. And we spoke about this with the Man United game against Arsenal, where Arsenal went and got the equaliser straight away.
Yeah,
you can't be that slack after you've scored a goal, man.
Fucking Jorginho.
I know.
Getting robbed in possession under no pressure.
And the thing is, like, he's one of the people that if you want to just pass around and control a game, you would think, oh, brilliant, bring him on.
Protect the lead.
I would say if Rice is on at that point, that's not happening. I thought at the start of the game, Arsenal started really quickly, came after them. Obviously got the goal in the first place. Bit unfortunate for Romero that it was an own goal, but
it's rash, like but like it's easy to say that, but I'm no stunning in front of like 50,000 people with a ball flying at me. Like I'd probably fling my leg up as well.
Especially because you've seen Saka bend one in from exactly that position like 2 weeks ago in the league, so he's more than capable of putting it in the back of the net from there. And although Vicario had a good game, I was about to say you can't bank on him saving it, but he did make a couple of good saves in that game.
Yep. Raya made a fucking excellent save as well.
He did. From Brennan Johnson. I think he made another decent one as well.
For the first Spurs goal, he's a wee bit at fault, in my opinion. Like the cross, he sort of flapped at it a wee bit. Yeah,
definitely. But and I think it was one of the commentators in Match of the Day said as well, as much as you'd say that was a very good save from Raya, you wouldn't say that Ramsdale wouldn't have been able to make it. And as much as that is a mistake from Raya, you couldn't say Ramsdale wouldn't also make that mistake.
I would have done any better.
I mean, people are just playing up that thing so much. I just don't think it's as significant as people were making it to be. Then obviously Arsenal get the lead through that Romero on goal, and then Jesus nicks the ball off of Maddison. And I was just like going, right, okay, this is it. This is
game over.
2-0, we're going to be fine. And somehow he conspires to punt it right over the bar. And I was just like, oh no, this is going to bite us in the arse. And yeah, it did. But you got it. The pressing was really good. The creating of the chance was really good. But come on, mate, come on. You could just see Arteta after that going, what the fuck?
I know.
He's lacking in match sharpness still because he's been out injured for so long. And I reckon that'll have played on his head far more than anybody else's after that. But obviously Tottenham got back into it. We had this big discussion last week who was going to be the key battle was going to be between Rice and Maddison.
Yep.
And then it turned out it was the two talisman, Son and Saka.
Yep.
That basically decided the game between the two of them.
Well, Maddison got 2 assists as well, remember?
Yeah. He was good in that bit of play where it was Saka, I think, that was marking him at the time. I think that was for the first goal.
When
where he turns him, and he's brilliant. He just plays really, really well there. It's a great bit of skill, great bit of control.
The penalty was a bit rough on Spurs.
Yeah.
But it is by the letter of the law a penalty.
It is a penalty. If we do need to explain this, because if anything's going to piss people off, it'll be another explanation of the handball rule.
Another interpretation.
But if there's a shot on goal and it's on target and it's blocked by a hand, regardless of intent or distance, it's a penalty.
Yeah, every time.
So it's unlucky for Romero, but it is.
They seem to forget that in the Sky Sports commentary, because they were like debating like, this could go either way, and I'm like, no, I guess can only go one way here.
Gary Neville was on a mini retirement when that decision was made, so he never knew about it. What a prize fund. But no, I think, obviously it was penalty by letter of law, but the problem is with the handball rule that makes it so complicated is there's so many different variations on it, and this comes up again later for another incident, but it's distance. Do you have time to react? Did it take a deflection off of you on the way that changed its trajectory?
Yeah.
Is it intentional? Does it lead to a goal? Natural position, and you're like... Mine when it just used to be, if it hit your horn, it was a handball.
Like, everybody moves differently. I know, like you can't say there's a natural or unnatural
that's
position.
true. I mean,
and depending on what you're doing to your body, like
look at
who's to say?
Look at Scotland, man. You look at James Forrest. The way he runs,
nothing about the way,
not natural at all.
Nothing about that way that boy moves is natural.
But it's natural for a penguin, but not for a human being. You know,
it's natural for a human to have a neck as well.
We love you, James.
I know. You're fucking selling.
But no, what else happened in Kentia? By the way, what was he doing to Vicario?
Oh, mate, I thought that was going to be a straight red.
Honestly, I was shiting it when I saw that. I was like,
getting in the keeper.
Aye,
it's like we used to do in FIFA 98.
Aye, but that was great.
Full slide tackle.
But keepers could punch people back then as well. That was great.
Glory days.
I thought he was very lucky. A more strict referee would have sent him off for that.
Yep.
See, if he got asked to look at VAR to relook at that challenge, it would not have surprised me at all.
Yeah.
Like, the fact he got away by a yellow is, I think, quite fortunate for him. It wasn't his best game, to be honest with you.
The good thing about that game, like, it lived up to the expectation, but like both sets of fans are clapping at the end. Like, fucking the Spurs players in front of their fans, like, applauding their fans.
Aye.
The Arsenal fans are all getting home happy. So I think that tells you like how much respect they've got for each other's teams just now, because they've both started so well this season.
Yeah. I think a lot of Arsenal fans have begrudgingly said, obviously there's nothing grudging about me with it, but that they do like Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, it's hard not to like a guy.
The way that his team are playing, they're just playing almost like Arsenal in a way, the sort of that style of football. And like we say, both teams are still unbeaten in the league. Neither of them dropped any significant points. The only problem is Liverpool won again and City won again, but that's going to be a common theme.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
But based on that game that weekend, the current top four is City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham.
Brighton,
isn't it? I think
Arsenal are in the top six, Brighton are in the top four, sorry.
Are they?
Yeah. Brighton have won 5 out of 6, remember?
Oh, aye. Well, aside from Brighton, because I think they will fall off, especially when Europe takes its toll. They weren't at their best in that game, but we'll come up to it later. I think Arsenal, City, Liverpool, obviously not in this order, and Tottenham are probably going to be the top four.
6 games in,
season. Just based on what we've seen so far. Obviously, injuries can come into play with that, but and speaking of, Rice obviously got taken off with an injury. I think there was a couple of other players for Arsenal that went off, with Nigel, Saka being one of them, but Arteta's...
What's the script with Rice's injury? Is it serious?
No, he was just uncomfortable was the way he described it. He said they're hoping and confident that it shouldn't be too bad, but you never know with these kind of things, man. So fingers crossed he's not out for too long, because he's such a good player, but I think they seem pretty confident that it would only be like 1 game, 2 games.
When Maddison went down, it looked like he had a fucking ACL. Like, he was screaming.
Aye, that did not look good at all.
Managed to like hobble a bit for 10 minutes, but
it's one of those games though where you can pick up injuries because it's just such a high intensity.
Like, a gun for everything.
So, and I think it was a very, very good game, one that actually deserves a place in a day called Super Sunday.
Aye.
So it was a nice way to tie off like the weekend of football for them. Although it was at 2:00, it wasn't even the last game. But aye. No, I think most people leave that game pretty happy.
Aye.
So it is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much about it. It would be nice to win at home, but if the away game could be exactly the same as that,
you'd probably take a point away from home if both teams are playing the same way.
If they're in the same form, aye. So, yeah, no, I'm pretty happy, and I think everyone else is with that as well. Now we'll go on to the game that made you very happy.
The real big game, man.
Yeah, like I said, if it's going to take something special to knock the North London derby off of top billing on match of the day too, and then your boys went and scored 8 goals.
8-0, mate. 8-0. Premier League record. 8 different goal scorers, excluding OGs.
That was one of the questions when I was watching it. I was like, surely this has never happened before.
I know, especially because there's 5 subs now as well. So it's more likely to happen. But I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, I mean,
and after the first half, Newcastle were dominant, but it wasn't like they were cutting them open. The second half, Sheffield United just fully gave up. And it was fucking embarrassing. Anthony Gordon looked fucking amazing. Trippier had 3 assists, which were all screamers. This is exactly what Newcastle needed in the league. And coming after the draw in the San Siro, this is massive for them.
Although you've missed the most important part.
Right.
I liked their top, but I didn't like their kit.
What do you mean?
I like the top. I think it looks really smart, but I think the yellow shorts look ridiculous. I know we've got 8 goals to talk about.
Yeah, I don't like their shorts though.
We don't have time for an episode of what not to wear.
but the mad thing is it was an 8-0, but it could have been worse.
Yeah,
it could have been so much worse. There was an offside goal, there was a stonewall penalty where Gordon got knocked down, and they didn't even bring it. I think at this point VAR just felt sorry for Sheffield United. They were like, fuck it.
I was going to say, with the first goal, I remember, I think it was 2 seasons ago, they introduced a rule where if there was a handball in the build-up to a goal by the attacking team, regardless of intent or anything, it just got chalked off. Have they changed that? Because I think I heard someone say in the commentary that it's only if it's done by the goal scorer. Only if the handball's by the goal scorer.
It's like they just want to convolute the laws as much as possible.
Maybe that's what it always was, and I've just not understood it at the time. But I remember a lot of goals getting ruled out.
I remember Rivaldo doing it years ago.
Because they'd handballed it in the act of scoring.
Because the ball did hit his hand.
Undeniably, yeah. I mean, it also definitely stayed in place. But like you say, he was brilliant at the start of that game. In fact, he continued it throughout, really. But at the start, he was just going down, taking them on all the time, and they had no idea how to handle him.
Yeah, he was fucking outstanding.
He played brilliant the entire time. It was a great setup for the goal. And then he did something very similar later with Wilson. He teed him up again, and he hit a really, really tame shot. And you would expect Wilson to do better in that circumstance, but I don't.
He eventually that's complaining
it. After
fuck's sake, he should be taking his chances. Gordon's goal himself was a fucking screamer.
Yeah,
they scored more goals in one game than Man United have scored all season, than Chelsea have scored all season, than the entire bottom half of the Premier League. They've all scored less than 8 goals in 6 games, and they've scored 8 in 1.
I think they doubled their own tally with that one game as well. What was it with Gordon's goal? I do think possibly Fotheringham could have done better.
Aye.
I mean, it does bounce just in front of him. It's better to just give Gordon the credit for it because he played really well and he deserved the goal. But
I don't think anybody in the Sheffield United team get any pass marks, especially the keeper.
I was going to say, if he got that penalty, who would have taken it?
I don't know, fucking Pope.
Trippier, maybe put Trippier on it.
Aye,
because then you would have had 9 goal scorers. Just setting new records.
Try to break all the records.
Aye, why not, man? Sheffield were dog shit, and obviously it's been a rough week for them with all this stuff that's happened. But you'd like to think that you could potentially use that to motivate the players, but I don't know what happened. They just utterly collapsed. They gave him so much time and space. especially in the midfield. When you look, there was a couple of shots of just Almiron and Gordon standing waiting to receive a pass.
Yep.
And there wasn't a player within 20 yards.
Aye, and they're moving forward with the ball, and everybody's just moving after them. You're like, what is going on? Like,
it's like, these guys, as much as they've had a tricky couple of games this season, they're still a really good football team. Even their centre backs, like Fabian Schär, is one of the best passers from centre back in the league. And that's not an exaggeration. He genuinely is brilliant at it. And you're giving these guys the freedom of the pitch. It's like, what did you expect to happen?
Yep.
What did you? It blew my mind. Newcastle were brilliant.
But Sheffield United were terrible as well. Aye. That doesn't happen. Man. Like 8-0s don't happen.
Aye. So I covered the penalty. Trippier, I want to talk about his assist a bit more because he's like, I think because of how good Trent Alexander-Arnold's delivery is, his gets slept on.
Aye.
Like, people don't give it the credit it deserves because he is unbelievably good at crossing the ball. It's hitting free kicks. He's just magic.
Dead ball, man. He's fucking superb with it.
Yeah, and we said before, like last season, he was probably the best right back in the league. He isn't this season because Kyle Walker's just hit a new level, but he's just incredible, man. He's comfortably the second, I would say.
Aye.
And at 33, you'd expect him to begin to dip now, but it doesn't look like it.
He's just one of these players that just like keeps going, getting better.
I think captaincy suits him as well.
I think Kyle Walker's the same age as well. Like,
he is, aye.
Fucking just keeps getting better. I know. When you're supposed to dip after 30.
Aye, but he's just a broken, like, he can't be real. I refuse to accept it. Almiron getting a wee goal, that was nice to see. Bruno not wanting to celebrate until all his teammates made him. Like,
I know, to be fair, I think he sort of felt sorry for the home fans at this point. He was like, his was a 7th, I think.
He was kind of like, mate, I'm Brazilian. We're used to this.
See, contrary to that, when Isak put in the 8th, he celebrated like it was 1-0 in the 90th minute. He's got to run away, like, soaking it up.
That was a good goal, though. That was a good goal.
He's touched to sit down the defender.
I think it was good for him. It was good for his confidence to get a goal in that as well. Also, imagine being the only striker in an 8-0 win who didn't score. Would you be raging?
Dan Burns popping up a goals and you're like, fuck this, man.
It was a good header from Dan Burns as well, man. Diving right in the back corner. And he's been fouled that entire time when he's making the run to it as well.
I know, like I seen that in the replay. Would you? He's getting pure assaulted as well. He's just still running.
But yeah, Sheffield United are looking like the team that we predicted they would be.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Relegated.
It was someone on the Football Ramble podcast, because Sean Bean's from there. He's a Sheffield United fan. But how many times do you imagine Sean Bean said bastard watching that game? So credit to them. It's a good pod. Don't listen to it before ever. So what next? City Forest.
Yep.
First things first, I want to say this. On TikTok, we released a reel of me talking about Steve Cooper. And I said that he looks like someone, and then some idiot commented you should judge him on his ability, not on his looks. Despite the fact I said he was a good manager. We both said he was a good manager. All I did was say he looks like a fat Ned Schneebly.
He does look like a fat Ned Schneebly.
So there was no judgment behind that. That's just an observation. But I will make a judgment now. You're a cunt. Now on to the actual game. The first City goal was fucking obscene.
46 passes in the ball.
And then, like, they could just show the end of that goal and it would still be a
Rodri, boy at the top.
And you put like 46 passes before it.
Everybody got a touch of the ball. It was incredible, man.
The ball from Rodri was so good to spot the run of Walker. And like, he can hit it that far ahead because he just knows that boy's going to get there.
You can hit it as far as you want, man.
The first time flick pass back to Foden.
And then a volley into the bottom corner.
What can you do against that?
It's so hard to play against because they're just moving you about the whole time, like waiting for like any be opening.
I mean, that's one of the things that I thought when I was watching it, because obviously I've compared him to like a lesser Busquets in the past. Mm-hmm. That's one thing he has better than Busquets is the long range passes.
Like the forward, the moving forward play, because Busquets was always doing these. It's working in the shadows.
If you tried a long range pass at Barcelona.
Aye,
He'd have been fired out of a cannon into the sun.
I went to see Barca. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we were in Barcelona like 2014, 2015, and I went to watch Barcelona against Valencia. Suarez scored in the first minute, and then Messi scored his 400th career goal in the last minute of the game. But like where we were sitting, like we could only get tickets like up in the gods. Aye. See, in front of us there was a group of like 20 old women, like 20 old women you'd see at the bingo, and they were sitting there and like Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, like all these players, Messi, they're all playing this pure amazing football. See, Dani Alves made one bad pass and they're all just like, oh, fuck's sake, looking after that. I'm like, you've got no idea. Like, you know, no idea. Like,
come on, a Scottish football match.
Watch fucking Kilmarnock against Inverness Cali Festival. It was so funny, man. It was blowing my mind that they were like getting raging. They're like, oh, this is shite. We're shite today.
Dani Alves, the joint most successful footballer of all time.
It was amazing.
That's incredible, man. For the second goal, again, really good football.
Yeah.
And what blows me away is it's not just the sort of intricacy of their passing, it's the speed that they do it at.
Yeah. And like they'll score headers. Like, because headers have kind of went out of fashion. Like, people don't really put a lot of crosses in at head tight. Like, a lot of it's trying to cut teams open and fucking slide the past keeper. I suppose
if you've got a 6'7" Norwegian
Terminator,
meat shield or whatever you want to call
meat shield. That sounds a bit sexy.
I mean, he's not, but I remember I watched the goal and I'm like really glad they show highlights of goal after it, because the speed they're going at when they play that little pass and play, I can't keep up with it just watching.
I know, it's amazing, man.
Like, it's that Frankie Boyle joke about the Usain Bolt running the 100 metres in like 9.6 seconds. He goes, it took me 10 seconds to watch him do that. Like, honestly. And it's the fact that they're not able only to process what they want to do, predict what the other players are going to do, and then make their body do it all like that. I'm just like, I don't understand how you can do that, man. It's just
it's the coaching in it, man. Pep's teams always play like that. They play like pure high, quick passing.
But you think about the guy put in the cross. It was is it Nunez that they signed from Wolves, and he's only been there for like 2-3 weeks, really. Because it was an international break as well. So the fact that he's got that up to speed with it already is just. What is Pep doing, man? Like, how is he that good at just getting people to do what he wants? I hate them. That is part of the
Jeremy
problem.
Doku looked amazing
again. Again.
He's such a good player to watch because he's something different as well. Because he's no as like tiki-taka as the rest of the players. He's just direct. He'll just run at you, which must be a nightmare for the fullback. Because like everybody else is just playing it inside and playing like easy, simple passes, and then he's just going to run behind you, just kick the ball past you and run. But
that's what's creating the space now for them to go in and do that kind of football. It's because I noticed this during the match. So he's staying out in the touchline. He's absolutely hugging the touchline, and it's Wolves. No, it wasn't Wolves. What am I talking about? Nottingham Forest always had to have at least one guy out there with him, usually two, because he's just that quick. And that means that everybody has to make up for the fact that those two guys are gone, which means there's space somewhere.
You're just camped in your
just because he was right out there, not moving. And that just creates more space in the middle for them to do their thing. I obviously said that I hate them there because I don't like the core idea of Manchester City. But I can't hate this football team, man. The way they play, it's just really, really, it's really nice to watch. And oh God, they're going to win everything again.
They're going to win everything.
Rodri on his red card, thoughts?
Fucking karate chopped the guy in the neck, man. Judo chop
like that, but
it was the force.
Listen,
mate, it was
it's a red card, but Morgan Gibbs White was stood up for about 2 seconds afterwards. Shame on you, by the way, honestly.
Fair play to you, mate. I agree.
Stop encouraging cheating, Patrick.
Raise your hands to me, man. It's no cheating. He fucking he rattles him.
There's no need to go down like that.
He broke his collarbone, man.
No need to go down like that, man. Roy Keane used to play for that team, for fuck's sake.
True.
Have a bit of pride.
Yeah. Have a bit of pride.
I don't know why I'm so much up I mean, it was a red card. I don't want to deny
it was
obviously a red card.
It was so funny the way he just sort of went Like, it's like he was about to like choke up to death, and then he went, "Oh, that's right, I can't." We're on the football pitch.
I want to know what he said to him, because Rodri's never done that. He's never lost a rag like that. And
I know, but like he started a bit. It was Rodri that kind of started a bit afters.
No,
because we're like pushing and shoving.
But he must have like said something when he was nudging into him or something like that, because you don't just snap in the way that he did when you've never done it before. I don't know what it was, man.
Called him a shite biscuits.
I don't think he'd be that arsed about it, to be honest with you. I don't think he'd give a shit. But no, yeah, obviously it was a red card.
Apparently it was only Man City's only their second red card in 72 games.
I know.
Which tells you a lot about like their team.
The way they play.
Right.
Well, in order to commit a foul, the opposition need to have the ball.
And most of the time.
Exactly.
But Ederson nearly got himself sent off after it. He is a bit of a fucking nutcase though, but
he made a couple of banging saves again though. Like
he's an excellent keeper.
He's such a quality goalie. But Rodri, since he joined Man City, no one in the league has played more games than him.
Oh really?
Yeah. And that's across all competitions. So no Premier League player in any competition, all of them put together, has played more
including
football
keepers.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's mental.
And I'm quite grateful that he went and got himself sent off, because his next games, first one is against you, he's suspended for that.
Yeah.
Second one is against Wales. Yeah. I don't think they'll miss him. And then the third one is against Arsenal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
This could be like, well, I don't know.
No.
We've got plenty of players.
All we need is one of your boys to injure Erling Haaland tonight, and then maybe.
I said that'd be De Bruyne. Aye, De Bruyne and Rodri.
Yeah.
Well, Doku, you probably have to take him out as well.
Oh, he's fine. if he's not got Haaland in the middle, or Alvarez, or Foden, or
Grealish. So many players, man.
Yeah. I thought Alvarez played really well again.
Yeah, he looked good.
A fine odd boy. Anything else I want to talk about that game? Oh yeah, because now I do normally, or I try and do footballers or football managers that look like people.
I've got one for later on as well, mate.
Oh, great. This isn't going to mean much to anybody, but Phil Foden looks like my pal Stephen. So.
No, Stephen, you better subscribe to this podcast. Bring us up to 8.
I've not spoken to Stephen in about 7 years.
I'm going to find Stephen. What's he saying?
I'm not putting that out in the podcast, mate. I'm not putting that out in the podcast. But no,
it looks like your pal Stephen. Prove it. Get him on.
No. He was actually, Stephen was brilliant at football, to be fair.
Yeah.
Probably would have gone pro if he wasn't asthmatic. Anyway.
Stephen.
There's a wee tribute to Stephen. Right. Burnley versus Man United.
The only thing I've only got one thing. I've only got 2 words in my notes, and it just says Fernandes volley. Yeah, because that's all I can remember.
Well, I'll fill you in. Both keepers made a couple of good saves early on, and Nana, I think, was just desperate to make up for what happened in the Champions League.
Oh, he was shocking. Nana would have been better in goals.
I was waiting for the pun of the show, and there we go.
Oh, Nana. Oh, Nana, what's my name? I used to sing that to my granny when she got dementia.
All right, okay.
There we go.
That's not the worst one we've done this month. It's fine. I think this game quite perfectly summed up Burnley's season so far. Some good stuff, but ultimately fruitless. Because they played some really good football, and again, just didn't come to anything. When we were gigging at the time this game was on.
Yep.
For Al, and I thought I'd had a stroke when my sister texted me saying Johnny Evans has just scored.
Aye, he did. He scored, but it got disallowed.
Aye, he got disallowed.
He got the assist for the goal as well.
Aye, he did.
It was some pass. It was shades of Rooney and Van Persie.
Aye, yeah, that's one of the things I was going to say. I always liked Evans. Thought he was a solid Premier League player, just never United level. But no, he was good, and the ball. Like, honestly, he snuck it in round the back like Beaumont of Taranto, man. It was impressive. Fernandes.
He snuck in like
Beaumont of Taranto.
Who's that?
The man that captured Antioch for the Crusaders.
Hell, man.
I'm done. But the control, man, like from that, the height that the ball's coming to is exactly like Van Persie.
Aye,
well, Van Persie did it with a bit more panache. No, you'd put a bit more bend in it, but At United as well, he did that. So, I mean, he was a different level. We won't go into him, or I'll start reminiscing about Van Persie too much.
Trying.
But I wasn't angry with him for that. I totally understood. No, it was a brilliant, like, because when it's coming from that height, to keep it that low, it's just almost impossible, man.
Because like, it hits the ground, but it goes under the keeper. So
it was an incredible goal, man. And the fact that it was Johnny Evans that played that past him is just...
Was Johnny Evans in the team that won the league with Leicester? I don't think so, no.
No,
Wes Morgan.
Wes Morgan, and that's going to test my memory. Was it a Japanese lad?
I've got no idea, I can't remember.
Oh, that's a wee bonus trivia question for you. Who was Wes Morgan? No, Robert Huth.
Also, Wes, fucking big Bob Huth.
Could you forget him, man?
I know.
Speaking of meat shields.
He's ended so many careers, man.
Well, I mean, the pass from Evans was brilliant. Like, if he keeps this up, man, he could be the next Lewis Dunk.
Next Dan Burn.
Brun Larson played for... Burnley in this game, a legend of my Celtic FIFA 20 team. Won the Champions League. Good player. He had a very good similar chance to try and do the same as Fernandes, but he's just not as good at football. Yeah. So it didn't work out for him. United kind of stole this result.
You think so?
Yeah, because let me read the stats for you.
Was it not just a typical away performance? So, like, for a big team to go, well, I say a big team, but like, big team goes away, come under a bit of pressure, and then just walk away by 1-0.
So this is Burnley.
Right.
62% possession. Burnley.
Right.
Fucking insane over Man United. They had more shots, better XG. United got lucky, man.
Keeper made a few saves. I don't know, you can't read too much into stats, man, because you get a 1-0 lead, you're just going to protect it.
Well, you can when it's Burnley versus Man United, right? Also, this made me happy. I don't know if this is just a Glasgow thing, but Burnley had a player called Benson, and that just makes me happy. Fucking Benson.
What am I, your fucking Benson? I've not heard that expression in fucking years.
My dad loved it, but the way he said it was questionably racist, to be honest. Ten Hag, I'm beginning to have doubts about. I don't know if he's as good as everybody thought he was. It's like that, a bit in The Simpsons. I'm not sure Homer Simpson was the tactical genius we thought he was. He's just running on the ground making whooping noises. Chelsea Villa. It's more interesting game.
Aye.
We've said it 100 times, but Chelsea are fucked, man.
Chelsea are so fucked. They're so fucked. They've lost 2. No, they've only won 2 in the last 18 Premier League games.
I know.
Leicester have won more than 2 of the last 18 Premier League games, and they get relegated. Like, the form table for this year, they'd be sitting 17th.
Fuck me, that's a good fact. That's
a good fact. It is absolutely mental. Like, they made a lot of chances as well.
Aye.
Just couldn't finish. Martinez had a good game as well. I like that he celebrates saves.
Yeah, I love a goalie that does that, man.
Like, it would wind you up if you're a striker, wouldn't it? Like, you get set up and, like, did a fist bump in your face? Like, fuck you, wee man.
It's got to the point where, like, see if it was any other team, but how much we talk about them in this podcast, I'd probably start to feel sorry for how much we're digging them out.
It's Chelsea, but...
It's Chelsea, they're just so inherently unlikable that it really does not bother me at all. The most important thing that happened in this game is that Mudryk played a good pass.
100 million, mate. That's what 100 million gets you. 100 million gets you.
It's the first thing I've seen him do since his debut against Liverpool, where he came on and looked dead tricky.
Looked quick.
Oh, there's a player there. There's just hiding amongst it. He played the ball through to Jackson, who had a really good chance to score, and obviously didn't.
There was a VAR red card for Gusto.
Yes, aye.
Probably should have been in that tackle with less.
Less Bob.
less fervour.
I like that. I'm on board. Yeah, Martinez made a really good save against Sterling.
Yeah.
Sterling should have saved that. Red card was fair.
The keeper should be saving Ollie Watkins' goal for that angle, my opinion.
I agree. I don't think he was expecting him to shoot though.
For that, but still, like, it's such a narrow angle. Like, get when you're near post and block it with your feet.
Aye. I mean, Martinez probably would have saved it.
Yeah.
Well, Watkins is actually getting a lot of attention now. Apparently, Chelsea and Arsenal are both interested in signing him.
Really?
Yes.
Hope he doesn't go to Chelsea.
No.
But end his career.
Aye. Arsenal, I could see him as a backup for Jesus. Is something different.
Aye.
Instead of Nketiah. He's an improvement on Nketiah.
Big time.
But I think both those teams are also looking at Ivan Toney right now. And
when's he back soon? He's training, isn't he?
He's training now, and I think he's able to play in December or January. So I don't know. I don't think it'll take him long to get back up to speed. But, yeah, so this is Chelsea's worst start after 6 matches ever. Yeah.
So since records began.
Well, in Premier League history, but you never know if that means Premier League or the entire First Division. How long does Poch have left?
Oof, mate, if he loses 2 more games, do you have to get rid of him?
Well, he's losing his fucking mind is what he's doing. You might have all heard this, listeners, but Pochettino keeps a box of lemons to get rid of bad spirits or vibes or whatever it is, right?
This is true, by the way. I googled this today as well.
All 100% true. This is from a Guardian article quoting an interview with him, right? So this is him talking about lemons. Literal fucking lemons, right? They started to work after 2 years at Tottenham. Couldn't just be your coaching that was improving them then. It was the fucking lemons. Give time to the lemons. Sorry. Give time to the lemons. It's a thing that we all have to believe. If you want to have good energy, you need to implement all the things that you believe. I believe in the lemons. They need a long time. They are not magic. But more than ever, I still believe in them. Today in my office, I have yellow ones, green ones, different types, from Spain, from Italy. I don't want to lie. There is a big box of lemons.
What the fuck is going on, man? How is this guy still employed?
How's this guy not on an asylum? I always thought the yellow lemons worked much better than the green. But now I believe in any colour. Any colour can help. If I could get a blue lemon, I would.
You can get a blue lemon, just leave it long enough, mate.
My favourite bit. A debate broke out over whether a green lemon is actually a leaf. Pochettino said, a lime is not a lemon. It is a brother, maybe, with a different mother or a different father. Someone help Pochettino.
Oh man, that is phenomenal, man. That is the funniest shit I've ever heard.
A lemon is a lime from a different mother.
When life gives you lemons, stick them in a box, put them in your office, and attribute all your success to them.
Like, we both do comedy. I couldn't write a bit that good.
No, that's incredible.
So, thumbs up to you, man. Fucking hell, Pochettino. Like, somebody get their dad. Like, he needs help.
Somebody better phone your dad. He's got a box of lemons in his office.
That is a classic.
He's saying they're soaking up the bad vibes.
Dad after a divorce idea, isn't it? Like,
do you know what it is? There's not enough vitamin C in this room.
What's one of the lemons, Dad? I'm just trying to get the smell of your mall at the house, you know?
Oh man.
Another fun fact, Nicholas Jackson is now suspended after receiving 5 yellow cards, all for dissent. So,
fuck's sake.
Well done,
how frustrating would that be, man? Like, 5 at the first games he's been booked for dissent. Fucking stop
5
it.
out of 6 games.
Stop it. Like, after 2, surely Pochettino should be like putting a lemon in his mouth and telling him to shut the fuck up.
Poch just didn't notice because he just saw the ref showing him something yellow and there's a fucking lemon.
That reminds me, I need to get me a lemons. That's why we're fucked this year. That thingy, that brings me on to the manager lookalike. It's no Pochettino. It's the opposition manager. Unai Emery. He looks like a guy that's got permo diarrhea. He's always sweating his pants. No, I'm kidding, man. Have you ever seen Mr. Deeds, the Adam Sandler movie?
Very long time
He
ago,
looks like the butler. We'll get a picture of both. He looks like the butler of Mr. Deeds so much.
As soon as you said Unai Emery, for some reason I just went the Count from Sesame Street. I thought that's what it was
He's
going
a greasy lad.
I did want to do a quick check in the time because that's fine. That's not too bad at all. Liverpool, West Ham.
Yep.
West Ham started really well. A couple of big saves from Alisson, and then Antonio put a shot wide. He really should have scored.
Yep.
# told you so. If they put that one away, it could have made a big difference. Although Liverpool have this season had no problems with coming back from being a goal down or anything like that.
No problem scoring goals at all this season.
Yeah. And again, Salah was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Salah was, I mean, what can you say about the man? Like, he's such a good footballer. The drop of the shoulder to win the penalty, and it definitely was a penalty. No debating that one.
The way he took the penalty was class as well. He just in the middle.
Yeah.
Didn't even look up the whole time.
Aye.
Just smacked it as hard as he could in the middle. He's so good. Apparently, I remember it was Ben Foster that was saying on his podcast that before a game, he picks where he's going to hit his penalty. And he'll stick to that. Like before each game, he's like, if I get a penalty, I'm going to put it there. And Liverpool beat Watford like 2-0 or something. And after the game, Salah said to Foster, like, if we get a penalty, which way would you have dived? And he's like, what? And he's like, which way would you have dived? And he was like, left. And he's like, I thought so. That's the mentality of the guy. Like, that's the preparation he puts in. Like,
aye.
And he changes it every time for each goalie and tries to go against these patterns and stuff. Because, like, obviously you can get all the data now and go, like, he fucking had it left 20 times, right 12 times, down the middle twice.
I think Shearer used to say that as well. Like, he would make his mind up ages in advance. I'm just going to put
that's the way to do it. It is, like, a guessing game of it.
QI did something interesting about this years and years and years ago. They showed statistically if you're taking a penalty, if you're taking a penalty, the best place to put it is directly down the middle, because statistically 80% of the time the goalkeeper will move either right or left. But the problem is people are so afraid to look like an idiot if they hit it straight down the middle and the goalie just catches it.
Just catches it.
I think I just said the goalie just captures it.
Goalie just captures it like a wee butterfly.
Like a moment.
He just gets a big jar and scoops the ball up.
It was a good goal from West Ham as well. Bowen played really well.
He's a great player.
The wee header down to Antonio on the build-up, and then a good diving header. Can he beat a good diving header? Szoboszlai again played well. A great ball for the offside goal. Unlucky Curtis Jones moves just a bit too quick. And then Juan de Caro strikes again.
Yep. Some finish, man.
I'm talking about the one he hit over the bar. But
that was Darwin Nunez. That was some finish. Juan de Caro.
Yeah.
He's alter ego.
Yeah. Although the one he did score was a much harder chance. Brilliant ball from McAllister. The control to just nudge it over the goalkeeper like cushion volley. Yeah, it was brilliant. And the fans there love him. He's become a fan's favourite despite not doing tremendously much yet.
I think it's just because he runs his pan. Like
they can see.
You can tell when somebody's working hard. You know what I mean? Even if they're not getting the results,
they can see a Jurgen player there.
Yeah,
he's like full fucking gegenpressing style guy. So they know. Even if he's not banging in like 30 a season and out, it's only a matter of time before he becomes one of the most important players. I mean, they took to Firmino and he wasn't exactly lighting up the league with goals. It was because of his selfless work that they all loved him. Is there anything else I wanted to say about this?
So Salah's had a goal involvement in every game this season so far, and he was involved in a goal in the last 6 games of last season. So that's 12 games in a row. He's either had a goal or an assist or both, which is incredible. Liverpool are unbeaten in 17 Premier League games now. So like, I'd say on the evidence of that, they're probably the biggest threat to City just now. If they can keep players fit. I think the fact they're not in the Champions League will serve them well. Yeah. The Europa League, you can rotate.
I think they're easily the second best team on form right now.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about this earlier. My concern with them would be they do not have a lot of depth. If they get injuries, their replacements aren't good enough. Although you think about people like Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, they're not bad players. But if Salah goes out or Hakpo or someone like that, or the defence in particular, in the midfield they've got no young substitutes at all. Really, not with any experience. Although didn't they have a player last season, Batatic or? There was a young Nah,
it doesn't ring any bells for me.
It was Bajatic or something like that, and he played really well. So if he comes back, I don't know where he is now, then he might be quite good. I thought 2-goal loss was harsh on West Ham, but it is what it is.
You need to take your chances when you're playing at Antioch.
Yeah. Everton winning 3-1 was a bit bizarre.
It's wild, mate. The fucking dice ball. Did you see the whole game? They're just hoofing it, man.
Aye.
It's so grim to watch. I hate it. They're going to turn it to Stoke City. See, if you were an Everton fan though, you'd be alright with that if it gets results.
Yeah, because after their start of the season, they just want to survive.
Every game's a must win for them.
So I watched this one from Match of the Day. Martin Keown, when describing Tarkowski, used the word dominate 5 times in about 10, 15 seconds.
It was fucking strange when I forgot.
Gary, buy him a thesaurus, please, because the man's not... I mean, Jesus.
Did you get lost for words?
No, because the thing is, I love him.
Oh, do you?
Well, because he's an invincible.
Oh, true, right enough. I keep forgetting,
Aye. I keep forgetting.
Fucking Arsenal.
Aye. But he's an idiot.
Does it say visit Rwanda on the side of your top? That's an even.
Aye, I wrote that. Yeah. No, we're sponsored by the Foreign Office. That's what it is.
Nice one.
Brentford. Do we think a 3-1 defeat kind of makes them favourites for relegation now? It was to Everton.
Nah,
I'm only joking.
Not at all.
Nah, they'll be fine. They're missing key players. Ayer didn't start this game. Rico Henry's out.
Yep.
Ben Mee's out. That was like the solid foundation of their defence last season. Obviously they don't have the big man up front, so
I think when he comes back, because the biggest thing in a relegation battle, the biggest problem Everton have had this season is goals. So it's always the lack of goals. When Tony comes back, you're going to have goals guaranteed.
And also with that game, it's not like they got completely blown away either.
Never get dominated.
No. Right, moving on.
To finish off on that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring is massive.
Yeah, and not getting injured.
Aye, for one, for his confidence, and 2, for their goals, because he'll be their main goal scorer. Aye. If they do make chances.
Yeah, 100%. Luton Wolves. Wolves scored a really good goal.
Aye. Didn't come off anybody's earlobe or anything.
No. And definitely went across the line. I mean, the ball through to him, I was like, there's no way he's getting in the end of that. That was just a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then the pace Neto gets to get there and then hold off the defender so easily and then power it into the back of the net. That is just a terrific goal. And whatever happens to Wolves this season, Neto will be gone.
Yeah.
It did feel like a championship game.
Is that Luton's first points of the season as well?
I think
they got a draw before.
I might have got a draw before, but it's certainly they're not piling up. Put it that way.
Aye.
Most of the adverts you see for the solicitors at a football match are like real estate kind of thing.
Aye.
It's one criminal law.
Was that?
Yeah. Well, so hats off to you. That was an unintended pun because they're called the Milners. Red card. Yeah, it's a red card.
Yeah.
But if someone had my leg in between their legs, I'd probably kick them and all.
Yeah.
If they weren't letting me go. But it was still a really, really dumb decision. They can't afford to lose players. They almost conceded a absolutely suicidal goal between Jose Sa and Dawson.
Aye.
And Sa's just fallen off a cliff in the past couple of seasons, man. He looked really good when he first came in under Bruno Lage, and they cannot afford to have a shaky goalie.
Yeah, I know.
So
he started the season alright as well. He was making the game against Everton. I remember he made some fucking wonder saves.
The one where he flicked out from under the bar. Yeah, he has his moments, but he's making too many mistakes compared to what he used to, and they cannot afford to have someone be that risky.
Yeah. Speaking of risky goalkeeping, the Brighton game.
Yes.
The keeper just fucking absolute shocker. Just up your brain melt.
See, when I saw the result of this before I'd seen the game with the highlights, I thought it's just a bog standard Brighton are better than Bournemouth kind of result, but it wasn't really, you know.
Nah, Brighton, it's probably the thingy. De Zerbi said after the game it's the worst they've played since he's been there.
Yeah, and I'd be inclined to agree with him, to be honest with you.
But they still managed to win 3-1.
Yeah.
The keeper has a mare, but Solanke takes it well.
It's a great finish from him, I think.
He's quite a tall guy. You want to guess for his name?
He's so lanky. It was a great equalising header from Kerekes as well.
Yep.
for the wrong team, obviously, but it was great classic header.
Still going, man.
There needs to be communication between the centre back and the goalie there.
Aye.
So, but back obviously it's
a good ball in for Gilmore.
See when you're playing like 11s with your pals or something like that. If the keeper's coming out to collect it, he still knows to shout keepers.
Aye.
Like, you know, they'll do something to establish that they're coming to get it. But the fact that he's just perfectly headed it just out of his reach over his head.
I glanced it in. I thought they would have gave the goal to Gilmore because it looked like the ball was hitting the target anyway.
I don't know if it's because it's an intentional like attempt to head it away. I don't know. I've let the boffins decide. That's what a great outing for the word boffin.
The boffins. Let the boffins decide this.
It was a good ball from Gilmore though.
It was. I whipped it in, man.
Matoma gets subbed on and scores 2.
Oh,
you fucking get
both
it,
goals
Matoma. You're a good footballer.
He's a fucking fantastic footballer. Both goals as well are completely different.
I'm worried though. The more Matoma plays well, I'm just going. How long till Chelsea come in, buy him, and then ruin him
for 149 million pounds?
Turn him into dog shit again. Like, so, stay away, Chelsea. I'm still enjoying Matoma right now. So it wasn't vintage Brighton, but they deserved to win probably. And Bournemouth, I think you'll probably be fine at the end of the season, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
The thingy, Brighton, they're the first team outside the Big Six to win 5 out of the first 6 Premier League games.
Well done, Brighton.
That's amazing, man. Considering, like we were saying, the Europa League might cause them problems. They had like a hefty game in the Europa League on Thursday night.
Well, that's why they made so many substitutions. If they start their first team, I'd like to see when Matoma comes on. I thought, it's a very different football match, but no, I like Brighton. We've said it so many times in this podcast. I do like Brighton, so well done, genuinely. Palace Fulham, the Woy Derby.
The Woy Derby.
Yep, it was shit.
Yep. Oh, it was grim, man.
Yeah, he was back from injury. And Palace must shite it every time like he gets ill.
Aye.
Because he's how old? That's a good fact actually. He is 127 days older than the Santiago Bernabeu.
I thought you were going to say he's 127 years old.
He's 127. Roy Hodgson is 127 days older than the Santiago Bernabeu.
That's incredible. Stadium has been revamped like 80 times.
I know. He's on standby in case Joe Biden, dies in office, just because they need another old man to come in. It wasn't the worst game. It was just kind of that both teams kind of cancelled themselves out.
And there's no glamour in a Fulham Crystal Palace game anyway. So
I did like Big Woy coming out in the end though, saying he'd rather not win a game through a soft penalty or one of those ridiculous handball penalties. He doesn't want to win a football match that way, and all the pundits were like, "Big Woy, yes, come on."
See, if I was a supporter, I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, man. I'll take anything I get, man."
I'm fully behind that. Keep that kind of chat up, Roy, and we might stop comparing you to an owl.
Yeah,
we won't.
Nah.
No. Right. Okay. What else do we want to do before we quickly wrap this up? Last week's trivia question.
Yes.
So it was what player, having played for 6 teams that have won the Champions League but has never won the Champions League himself, and what were the clubs? So it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and this is going to test if I can still do this.
Yeah.
Ajax, Juve, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Barcelona, Manchester United.
Fantastic. I get tripped up in Juve. I forgot they'd played for Juve.
Juve's the one that gets me. I also forget that they've won the Champions League as well, weirdly, but that's me just being doolally. You've got a new trivia question?
Aye, so it was just to be mentioned, Brighton were the first team outside the Big Six to win 5 out of the first 6 games since 2005. Which team did it in 2005? And this is fucking hard.
That's a really difficult question.
Peter had about 40 cracks at this.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
And the thing is, every single guess I was like, oh yeah, that's a good guess.
No.
One last thing about the what am I talking about? Fantasy football. I'm not going to mention the guy that's in first because you know what you've done.
Yeah.
Still not showing me your team.
The team.
I'm going to talk about the guy in last, and because I want to mention the players that he's got in his team. He's got Ramsdale, who's not started in 2 matches. John Stones, who's been injured for how long?
Mm-hmm.
Luke Shaw, who's been injured for how long? Kevin De Bruyne, who's been injured for... Call it up to your team.
Get your starting 11 sorted, mate.
You've got a great name. Larissa Hounds cannot be last.
Larissa Hounds, that's a good tune, actually.
28 points behind Inter your Maw. Come on. put a shift in, right? So we'll probably just wrap it up there.
Belter.
Because Paul's probably sick of our chat about it.
Until next week.
Yeah, until next week, it's goodbye from Patrick.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from me. Stay fresh, cheese bags.